Hi guys, it's Lawrence here. I'm just going to do a small video, or short video, to speak about joint mobility, and specifically joint mobility within warm-ups. Now, depending on the activity you're about to do, you should be doing a specific warm-up to it. So if you're going to lift weights, let's say you're going to do some heavy squats, it's a very good idea if you do a ramping up of the lift. So you start very light and then increasingly get towards the weight you intend to begin with. If you are going out for a run, then it's a good idea to perhaps do some light jogging and then start getting towards the pace that you want to achieve. Regardless of the activity you're going to do, however, I always suggest that before the specific warm-up, there should be some joint preparation, so some joint mobility, just to make sure that your joints are supple and ready to take on some harder work. So what I do, I like to start from my head and work my way downwards. I'm not going to demonstrate an awful lot of reps, so I'm just going to show you the actual movements. However, in your warm-ups, you'll be looking at doing about 10 to 20 reps of each movement. Yeah? So if it's a cold day or if you're feeling stiff, perhaps just spend a little bit more time on this. You know, on a hot summer day and you're feeling alright, maybe you don't need to do so much of it. However, try not to skip the joint mobility. It's a very good idea. It'll keep you healthy for longer during your training career. Yeah? So we'll start with over the shoulder. This is what I call it, over the shoulder. So just look over your shoulder and try and increase a little bit the range of motion with each rep. Then up and down, so we'll stretch under the neck and behind. Then ear to shoulder, as I call it. So we're just looking to mobilize your cervical spine, your neck, in all the directions it can move. Okay, so now just some gentle circles. This way. And then the other direction. Good. So now we'll move to the shoulder girdle. So just roll your shoulders back. Just raise them and depress them, raise them and depress them that way. And then forwards. Good. Now we'll go in big arm circles. Yeah. Keep your arms relaxed and just let the momentum of your movement take them. Yeah. Nice and relaxed. Backwards. Good. Still keeping them relaxed. We'll try and get a stretch across the chest and just open and close. Arms kept nice and relaxed, almost limp. You see I'm alternating which arm goes on top. Good. Okay, now we're going to work on the shoulders. So just on the elbows, just some elbow circles. Just getting my anatomy a little bit confused there. And then the other way. Looks a bit funny, but your elbows need working just the same. Good, and then we'll go into wrist circles. That way. And back. Good. I like to work on my hands as well. So just mobilize this way. Almost like we're trying to close your fingers one at a time. Good, and then just open and close your hands. Lots of people tend to ignore their hands, but you know, if you're lifting weights, you're holding onto stuff, they need working a little bit too. Good. So now we'll move on to the spine. Yeah, so the first one, we'll just move sideways. If you've got enough mobility, I would suggest putting one hand at the top, so between your shoulder blades, and then use the other hand to just get a bit of stretch across this area, and just bend slightly. It's gentle, you're not trying to force anything. Now, if you don't have the flexibility to do this yet, then very simply, if you don't want to look like a teapot, you can just do it with straight arms. Good, and then obviously you repeat it on the other side. Again, for the more mobile people. And for the less mobile people. Good. Now, what we'll do now is we'll start involving our hips in a bit of rotation as well. Keep your arms nice and loose. Make sure that you pivot your foot. So, a bit like a golf swing, I suppose. Just letting your arms mobilize your spine for you. By letting them flap about, literally. Good. So we'll work on the hips now and just gentle hip circles. Yeah. Now this done sort of in a big circle can be a bit uncomfortable if you've got lower back issues. So be gentle with it and just really try and get the movement not so much in your spine but in your hip joint. Again, the other way. Good. So this time we'll go down towards our knees. So knees together and just very gentle circles. Now if you have any particular knee issues and you feel uncomfortable with this, maybe you've had a cruciate rupture that's being repaired and it doesn't feel great to do this, then just skip it all together. Yeah? And perhaps just do the second drill that I'm going to show you. If it doesn't hurt though, just do it. Yeah. Keep your knees supple. Okay. So next, we'll just try and get a bit of stretch in the front and a bit of stretch in the back. So just kicking backwards and forwards. Okay? So if you had to skip the previous drill, you might be able to do this and you're still getting a bit of movement in your knee joint. Starting to work on your balance here as well. Yeah. As you get more supple within the warm-up, you can start just lifting your leg a little higher. Yeah? Then the other side. Good, we've nearly finished. Okay, so now a little bit of side movement just to work the inner thighs and your hips still. So just widen your feet slightly and then just drop slightly to one side and then to the other. It's a bit of a side lunge mover. Good, if you want to, you can start reaching the ground. Good. Now just a little bit on our ankles. So what I'd like you to do is very simple and just stand up on your toes and then rock back on your heels. Up on your toes, back on your heels. That way. Just get your feet and ankles to work. Good. So you've mobilized your joints and now you're ready to go and complete your warm-up with whatever activity you choose to do and is appropriate to what your training session is going to be. Very simple. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope it helps you. Speak soon.